Hi guys, my name is Angela Kegley and this is my Module 7 reflection. Do I think it's appropriate for students to complete online learning and what parameters should be in place? I think it is appropriate. I think it's a good option. It's for some families who are moving around a lot, or for some children whose school just doesn't really fit them very well because of social situations or maybe. But I think it's a really good opportunity to be flexible with school. And I think that there are certain parameters that make sure you're following the curriculum that most schools use, or like that way your child's like getting the same information that they would be in a classroom setting. So I think it's completely appropriate. Do I think that every state should require students to complete an online course prior to high school graduation? I don't know, because I don't think I definitely did not complete an online course, but my school definitely had opportunities for like different kinds of classroom settings. Like we had tried this new thing like my sophomore year. They bought a new building and like they started a program called PBL, or project-based learning, and it was like the student had the standards and like they created their own assignments, and there were teachers there to assist them, not really teach them but assist them and make sure that they're getting the full understanding of everything and making sure that they're hitting all those standards. But I never did an online course. Now in some of my classrooms we did like do more online work towards my like senior year. Like my school was like really starting to become more online, because I know like we used Google Classroom quite a bit in high school. Like my junior, senior year, they started implementing that in, and I know my English teacher used it a lot, but maybe my social studies teacher didn't really use it at all. But it really wasn't to be an online classroom. It was to have all of our material that we needed right there for us, and like to help set a more like definitive guideline that we're able to like use at home or at school. What did I learn most from the K-12 video and Lawrence virtual school brochure? So I knew like what online school is, because clearly like I'm doing online classes for college, but watching the video, it's better to see like how useful it is for different families. Like I said, like families who may move around a lot because maybe like they're in the army, or like maybe their parents' job like requires them to be moving around a lot, or students who just don't do very well in social situations. Like it's good for them to be able to have that opportunity to still get the same education, just without like whatever is holding them back. I also, after reading through the Lawrence virtual school brochure, like I didn't really understand how it worked. Like, you know, I never really looked into it that much, but like after reading through the Lawrence virtual school brochure, it had like all the information, and like it talked about the different, like it talks about the different ways that, sorry, I just went blank. It talked about the different people that are involved, like your teaching coach, your parents, your teachers, like all those different ways, and how your families can be involved and how your parents can be involved in. Like it just like went over all the basis questions that someone may have about that system. My experience working with the LMS, I chose to work with Google Classroom because I did use that in like towards the end of high school. I almost worked with Blackboard just because like that's what we use, but I figured I would try something that like I know a little bit about, because Blackboard I know quite a bit about how to use it, at least as a student. But I figured I'd try Google Classroom and like see how that one worked out. I liked it. Google Classroom really leaves a lot for you to be able to customize. Like you can put different pictures and different like titles. Like you can just put like a whole bunch of customization in it, and there's different assignments that you can upload, quizzes, discussion boards. Like there's a whole bunch of different assignments that you could post on there. So I thought that was really neat. How could I use it as a future educator? Personally, for me, I'll be working with like kindergartners, so I don't know that it'll be useful for me to use with my students, but maybe for myself personally, it will help me like keep everything sorted, like kind of like a planner almost. But I don't know that my students would use it very much. Maybe if I like had it pulled up on a computer, like I could share links that way. But otherwise I don't really know how else I could use it. But that's all. Thank you for listening. This is my Module 7 reflection.